President Donald Trump is reportedly planning a significant policy shift concerning Ukrainian refugees in the United States. Sources suggest that Trump intends to revoke the legal status granted to tens of thousands of Ukrainians who fled to the U.S. following Russia's invasion of their country in 2022. This move has sparked controversy and raised concerns about the fate of these refugees should Trump return to the White House. This plan specifically targets Ukrainians who entered the U.S. under a program known as humanitarian parole. This program, established by the Biden administration, was designed as a temporary measure to offer safe haven to Ukrainians escaping the war. Trump's proposed action would effectively dismantle this humanitarian effort and potentially subject these individuals to deportation. The implications of this plan are far-reaching and have drawn criticism from human rights groups and some lawmakers. They argue that sending these refugees back to a war-torn country is inhumane and contradicts America's historical role as a refuge for those fleeing persecution and violence. The humanitarian parole program at the center of this controversy has been a lifeline for many Ukrainians seeking refuge in the United States. Implemented by the Biden administration, this program provided a legal pathway for Ukrainians fleeing the conflict to enter and temporarily reside in the U.S. It bypassed the lengthy and often cumbersome traditional refugee resettlement process, recognizing the urgency of the situation in Ukraine. Under this program, Ukrainians could enter the U.S. without a visa and were granted permission to stay for a designated period. This allowed them to escape immediate danger, seek safety, and rebuild their lives with a degree of stability. The program has been praised for its swiftness and effectiveness in providing aid to those in desperate need. However, the humanitarian parole program has also faced criticism, with some arguing that it grants the executive branch excessive authority in immigration matters. Critics have raised concerns about potential for abuse and the lack of a more permanent solution for those admitted under this temporary program. While Trump himself has not publicly confirmed this plan, sources suggest that he believes the humanitarian parole program represents an overreach of executive authority. He reportedly views the program as an abuse of parole authority and argues that it circumvents established immigration laws. Trump has long advocated for stricter immigration policies and has been critical of programs that he perceives as granting entry to undocumented individuals. Furthermore, sources close to Trump indicate that he harbors concerns about potential security risks associated with the influx of Ukrainian refugees. They claim that insufficient vetting procedures within the humanitarian parole program could allow individuals with questionable backgrounds or even ties to hostile actors to enter the country. This argument echoes Trump's previous rhetoric on immigration, often framing it through the lens of national security. These alleged security concerns, however, have been met with skepticism from some quarters. Critics argue that they lack concrete evidence and are being used to justify a policy decision driven by political motivations rather than genuine security assessments. They point to the rigorous vetting processes already in place for refugees and immigrants entering the U.S., including those admitted under humanitarian parole. The timing of this reported policy shift is particularly noteworthy, coinciding with Trump's 2026 presidential campaign. It aligns with his broader political strategy of appealing to his base by taking a hardline stance on immigration, a recurring theme throughout his political career. By targeting a program implemented by the Biden administration, Trump seeks to contrast his approach with that of his political rivals, and present himself as a staunch defender of American sovereignty. This move could also be interpreted as an attempt to capitalize on the complex and often emotionally charged issue of immigration to galvanize support among his base. By framing the issue in terms of national security and alleged government overreach, Trump aims to tap into existing anxieties and resentments surrounding immigration, further solidifying his position among his core supporters. However, this strategy carries inherent risks. Trump's stance on Ukrainian refugees could alienate moderate voters and those who sympathize with the plight of Ukrainians fleeing war and seeking refuge in the United States. It also raises questions about the future of U.S. humanitarian efforts and the country's commitment to upholding international norms regarding the treatment of refugees.